Mesopotamia, often dubbed the cradle of civilization, stands as a testament to humanity's ingenuity and capacity for innovation. Situated in present-day Iraq, this ancient land witnessed the birth of urban civilization around 3400 to 3000 BC. The southern part of Mesopotamia was home to the Sumerians, renowned for their epic tales like Gilgamesh and remarkable artifacts such as the royal tombs at Ur. Alongside them, the Akkadians thrived under the rule of Sargon, establishing the first lasting Mesopotamian empire. Their cultural legacy laid the foundation for later civilization, notably the Babylonians and Assyrians, who expanded upon Sumerian achievements. In ancient Babylon, mathematics was highly developed, contributing significantly to their civilization. They introduced a numerical system based on 60, which influenced timekeeping and remains in use today. Babylonian mathematicians also made strides in algebra and geometry, solving complex equations and exploring geometric concepts. Their practical application of mathematics, such as in engineering and trade, showcased their advanced understanding. The famous Plimpton 322 tablet, dating back to 1800 BCE, demonstrates their grasp of mathematical principles, including the Pythagorean theorem. Even G.H. Hardy, the great mathematician, said,
"The Babylonian and Assyrian civilizations have perished. Hammurabi, Sargon, and Nebuchadnezzar are empty names. Yet Babylonian mathematics is still interesting, and the Babylonian scale of 60 is still used in astronomy."
Babylonian mathematics laid a strong foundation for future mathematical advancements. The use of mathematics is crucial, especially in the field of architecture, which flourished during the era and beyond. The Babylonians also made significant contribution to the development of calendars. They used a lunar calendar based on the phases of the moon, which consisted of 12 lunar months. To synchronize their lunar calendar with the solar year, they periodically added an extra month. These adjustments ensure that their agricultural activities and religious festivals aligned with the seasons. Babylonian astronomers also observed celestial events such as solstices and equinox, which helped refine their calendar system. Their calendar served as the basis for later calendar systems developed by other civilizations, including the Hebrew and Persian calendars.
Language and writing. Mesopotamia, often considered the cradle of civilization, boasts one of the earliest writing systems known to humanity. The people of Mesopotamia, particularly the Sumerians and the later Akkadians, developed cuneiform script around 3500 BCE. This intricate writing system was initially pictographic, with symbols representing objects or concepts, and later evolved into a more abstract script consisting of weight shape characters impressed onto clay tablets using a stylus. The Sumerian language was the dominant language of ancient Mesopotamia for much of its early history. It is an agglutinative language, meaning the words are formed by adding prefixes, suffixes, or infixes to root words. Sumerian is a language isolate, meaning it does not belong to any known language family. Akkadian, a Semitic language closely related to Hebrew and Arabic, gradually supplanted Sumerian as the spoken language of Mesopotamia around 2500 BCE. However, Sumerian continued to be used as a language of religion, scholarship, and administration of centuries. Akkadian became the lingua franca of the region and was used in diplomacy, trade, and official communication across the ancient Near East. Cuneiform writing was adapted to write both Sumerian and Akkadian, as well as several other languages spoken in the region over time, including Babylonian and Assyrian. This writing system was versatile and could represent multiple languages and dialects. Cuneiform remained in use for over 3 millennia, undergoing various changes and adaptations before eventually falling out of use with the rise of the Aramaic script around 5th century BCE. Thank you.
Okay, now we move to the architecture and urbanization of Mesopotamia. We know that the architecture and engineering are two ways that humanity leaves its mark on the planet, with Asia, which is Mesopotamia, home to thriving Mesopotamian communities, is where urbanization first began. They changed into a variety of environments such as the Bush and Southern era, the woodland of the Levant, and the metallurgy hills and altitude of southeast Turkey and east and Syria. The architecture and civilization of Mesopotamia endured for over 10 millennia. The Mesopotamian architecture is seen as logical and technological in over the relation to its surrounding, in addition to having a prophetic view and being skillfully planned. East of the vertical crescent district, Mesopotamian is roughly shaped like a semicircle, with its open side facing south, its west and toward the southeast corner of the Mediterranean. Its center directly north of Arabia, and it is and at the north end of the Persian Gulf, where farming and cultivation were predominant. And for climate and ecology, the natural terrain is diverse, containing mesas, steppes, deserts, and foothills. However, they are all united by the absence of summer rainfall. It's unlikely that Mesopotamian vegetation and climate have adapted in the last 10,000 years. There was no flora in the desert zone, but it did have not dry summers and moderately dry winters. The summers were warm and dry, while the winters were moderate in the foothills. The temperature in central and southern Iraq can occasionally exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit due to the extreme heat. There are the categories by period of the impact of the environment on architecture. The first is the Persian, like the late Europe period 3000 and 600 BCE, and the second is Rhineland, late Europe period 3000 and BCE, and the Plano-convex early dynastic period 3100 until 2300 BCE. And we know that the first civilization of its kind was Mesopotamia, whose technology and urban communities serve as the model of later contemporary settlement. It believed that the environment and climate of the area had a critical role in the formation of its architecture and culture. This study examined the ways in which people we have influenced their surrounding, by letting the land or landscape, whether intentionally or unintentionally. The construction materials employed by architects and engineers are mostly determined by the natural resources of the culture. This is also true of the Mesopotamian civilization. Thank you.
If ancient Egypt is famous for building pyramid, then Mesopotamia is also famous for building ziggurat as their religious building like the Pantheon for the Greek and Romans. Mesopotamia had many gods, and each city in the region of Mesopotamia has specific idol or patron god who leads the other gods. And of all idols that exist in Mesopotamia, there are three main idols and forms the Holy Trinity or Astrotriad for Mesopotamia. They have Dewa Ishtar represent as a star, Dewa Sin represent as a moon, and Dewa Shamas represent as a sun. So what is interesting about this? The Quran also records the details of this astro-triad in the story of Prophet Abraham in Surah Al-An'am verse 76 to 78, where he questioned to his people about the worship of the stars, moon, and the sun. In the verse 77 and verse 78 clearly tell about the people of Prophet Abraham who worship the moon and the sun. But for the verse 76, the Quran used term kaukab to talk about star worship. If we check further, the word star in Arabic is more precisely an-najm. The term kaukab, so is that Quran has mistake? Of course not. Actually, this proves that the truth of Quran in detailing this matter, which there are planets that were considered as a star by the ancient people. The planet is Venus, which is also known as the evening stars. This planet is called a star because it shines like a star when it begins to enter the night. If from the perspective of historical and methodological studies, this indirectly shows that the Quran revealed the secrets of the Mesopotamian civilization in the time of Prophet Abraham, who worshipped Venus, moon, and sun as personification of the gods in the city. So this is a great record. Story proof the Quran is a divine revelation, and how it is possible that the Prophet Muhammad, who was an Ummi, would write the history of the previous society in good detail like this. Everyone must have heard of Hammurabi Code, right? But do you know that there are some similarities of purpose, law, and belief between the Islamic laws brought by our Prophet Muhammad and Code Hammurabi by the king of Hammurabi, or in the book of Genesis calling him the king of Shinar or Nimrod. First is the Code of Hammurabi and the Quran are all sets of guidelines meant to maintain justice in society behavior and ensure fairness between them, such as in the book Writing Law Kingship in Old Babylonian Mesopotamia by Dominic Charpin states that women could inherit asset or money from their father and mother, and this creating a level of legal equality to men and women in the Mesopotamian society in that the value of their inheritance. Meanwhile, in Surah An-Nisa verse 11, which explains us same about if the one that leave only girl child, the girl child will get half of his inheritance. In addition, there are punishment laws such as for criminals, thief, murderer, and so on. All this to maintain the well-being of the community in this time between the Babylonian King Hammurabi and Islam The purpose is the same, but the way the punishment is carried out is different according to that time. The last one is divine origin of this law. Hammurabi claimed to have received his code from the Babylonian god Shamash. Like I said before, one of the main idols in Mesopotamia. So it similarly is to the Islamic law that Prophet Muhammad got a revelation from God, but the difference is that Prophet Muhammad had mediation through Gabriel, but King Hammurabi faced his God directly, according to their belief. So we as a Muslim should go back and adhere to the teaching of Islam, where if a system originated from God, then it does not just involve the worldly matter only, but also touches the life in hereafter, which is to believe that the purpose of human existence is nothing except a framework to worship to the Creator, such as in Surah Az-Zariyat verse 56.